Alright folks, you ready? Son of Virginia here. And we've made it to a place where we can stay overnight from our bug out. In between where we're needing to be and where we left from. So we gotta stay overnight somewhere. And this is the first step in trying to stay warm. I'm gonna use contents of our pocket dump, right, to do that. And you can see behind me here, I've already got some notebook paper I'm going to use to simulate this paper, because that's not right in the rain paper, and stuff's expensive. And I mean, hell, I got kids and Christmas is coming, so what we're going to do. Another thing I've done along the way to here, I guess, you gather up some dry wood, and the wind is high, and it's been raining for the past 2.5 days. So it didn't rain this morning, so everything's still damp. But there are some things that are dry. So we've got a semi-crumpled piece of paper there, and what we're gonna do is go to the very end of these branches, and we're gonna start off very, very small. You see that? See that? This small. But we take these branches right here, right? Oh my God. I've already got a log set up back here to help with that little frame we're gonna build. And put those two sticks outside right there like that. And we take these little ones we broke off. Right. We're gonna lay them long ways across right here. That's too big. Lay it right there on the outside. You see this here? Those are too big for what we're trying to do. Goodness, people. I'm gonna try to do this. No editing, no nothing. We only got one chance. Step 2, the reason why we're doing this, because on our journey we found a water bottle with empty, and we've used this to get some water from the river. Right? So this is river water, and I'm gonna show you how, even though it's in a plastic container, and we can build this fire and use the fire to sterilize our water so we can drink some water before we go to bed. Right? Remember, tiny branches. Uber tiny. We can go ahead take this piece, crumple it up slightly. These pieces are going to tear. Just loosely crumble up. Remember, it's damp. I'm gonna put that in our pocket. Super tiny branches. Gonna lay over top of our paper like that. Alright. One thing you want to be definitely sure of is that what you're putting on here is dry. Because if it's damp, like, that's why we're starting so very, very small, like this. The reason why we're doing that is it takes a lot of energy to get a fire going. But we only need 3 things. You need air, you need fuel, and you need flame. So we're gonna get this set up as best as possible, and we're going to take the branches that are just a little slightly too big, like these, right? Put them, I guess, widthwise. We'll call that widthwise, we'll call this lengthwise, I guess. uber tiny to small to slightly larger than small, medium. And once we get a good going of medium, then we can start with the log. So it takes, even though we may have a torch lighter or a Bic, you know, I recommend, like, ferro rods are dead. Like, that's the very absolute last resort. That's me. Like, everybody should carry a bare minimum of a Bic. And do have a Bic or like torch lighter, take you a good piece of your height, right, and 550 cord, and leave the guts in it. The strands that are inside, leave those in it. Melt off the ends to where, you know, they don't fray or run, and then wrap that around your Bic, and then take about 6 to 10 inches of duct tape and wrap that around the 550 cord on your Bic. That way you'll always have at least, you know, at least your height, 6 foot or so, and 550 cord and duct tape. I mean, hell though, it's gonna be 2 rednecks at the end of the world. A half roll of duct tape and that's full of 550 cord is gonna save the world. Right? Alright, so keep going with that. Check this wood. This is something I attempted earlier. Oh, we got some bark in there. Alright. Get the bark out. Remember, you gotta break, snap stuff to tell if it's gonna be dry enough. Like, and if this is a real world situation, like, you've got time, you know, and you're building a fire and it's a permissive environment enough to where you can build a fire and you're not worried about people chasing you or nothing, usually. Alright, so I'm just gonna build up this side over here a little bit. I don't know if you can see it, and I don't want to touch the camera because I've got it all just so kind of heavier to that one side. Find the lighter here. Oh, yeah. So, remember, small, uber small, small to not so small, medium, and we're gonna let that burn. Like, medium would be, you know, the actual size of the branch. This right here, this is medium. It's gonna take us a minute to work up to that there, you know, because we need this to catch and burn steady before we can start adding anything bigger onto it, right? We don't want to drown ourselves out before we start. Remember, we still got this piece in our pocket, so if this doesn't work, we got half of another chance. Actually, we got as many chances as we got sheets in our notebook, but we don't want to start burning that stuff. Like, this could be, you can just as easily do this with, say, 2 napkins or paper towels from a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? You just need something. See how it catches like that? Remember, uber small, small, not so small, medium. This would be medium. See, this is not so small right here. Not so small right there. Uber small, small, not so small, medium. Alright. Keep laying in. got a ton of super small ones or small ones, go ahead and put them on there. Get all, you know, take every opportunity you can to keep it going once you get it. See what I'm saying? And we don't want to put our water in there yet. We want to make sure we can have some good. We want at least one little layer of coals, I guess you could say, before we can feel confident enough that the fire's not going to go out in the time it takes us to boil and sterilize the water, right? See, this branch is a little suspect right there. See how it's going? I don't know if you can see it or not. It's still burning. See that it's not that it won't burn if it's damp. It's just that it takes a lot more energy for it to burn because it's got to go through the process of drying it. The fire's got to be hot enough to dry it out, and then dry it out, and then start burning it afterwards. That's not nearly big enough to start throwing damp sticks or anything on there yet. And like the little pieces that I guess that are around it, I mean, there's nothing saying that you can't move it around in a way that make it burn better. You want to make sure you got enough airflow in there and that your fuel is dry enough. You see, like this leaf right here, it's not. And don't smother your fire or put it out by putting damp leaves on it either. That's a big no-no. That's happened more than anybody'd like to tell. See, now we're gonna have to blow on it, or sacrifice our piece of paper. We're only gonna sacrifice half of it. And you want it in there right below. I guess our problem was that the uber small stuff was caught fire and burned up to the small stuff and didn't have nothing underneath it. So it pretty much just burned itself out. Instead of putting flame to it. Blow on it just so slightly in those strategic places and get those coals we do have, get them to light that piece of paper up instead of putting flame on it again. And anything small laying around still dry, go ahead and just go ahead and put it on top there. I mean, we got some good coal going down there. We're good at going back up. It's coming, folks. I doed it. Sorry if you seen any plumber butt back there. Things had to be done. And no better time is it because the winds are picking up, buddy. Another reason we want to go super small, and it takes a lot of energy to do that, is the super small ones are usually at the very end of the branch. And if the branch is laying on the ground, more than likely it's the driest part of that branch. You know what I'm saying? Let's walk over here and get this. Got right there. Just gonna put it all together and test it out. I mean, it might be dry enough. And there's a lot of them, so when I tell you that wind, don't know about it. I guess it'd be a good time to talk about, like, I've heard, gray man theory and all that stuff. If you're worried about trying to blend in, like, jeans and a t-shirt, you're golden. Jeans and a hoodie, jeans and whatever. Jeans and a flannel, jeans and a hoodie. Most of the time, people that are in the know can pick out a trained individual, say that, either by certain mannerisms, the way they walk, or their shoes. Most of you cops out there that want to be high speed, super secret squirrel types, work undercover and all that, like, if you live in a town like I do, that's not near a military base, and you see some guy wearing 511s and solos and a grunt proof or grunt style hoodie, like, chances are he's a cop or a vet. Now we're gonna go straight into medium because they're dry. And we got some pretty good setup going so far. But when you do make that big step, make sure that the medium ones are like uber dry. You know what I mean? I've got to be super dry. Yep, it's a little bit longer, folks. We're gonna get that bottle in there. Matter of fact, we can get this little clump in here and pick up, catch on. Well, matter of fact, I'm just gonna put it right here. Right in there. Right beside it for the time being. Try to build up around it, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe, people. It really helps out. You have no clue. And go check out the Patreon. I'm gonna do my escape and evasion pocket dump for the Patreon. See, we're doing awesome. Now it's really just, now we're just maintaining. So you see how the flame, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the flame's licking around the outside of the bottle. You do not have to worry about the bottle melting, folks. Alright? If it's a full bottle, like, we'll take the lid off here. The more full it is, the better off you'll be. Because if it's not full, like, it will deform that plastic, right? But it will not melt, or it will not breach the, I don't know how you say it. It won't mess it up and put your fire out, right? It's not gonna burn through. Everywhere that there is water, the fire won't burn it. It'll just heat it up. So now we're just gonna build on what we got. Using this back log right here, right? We're using it to support all of everything else we're doing. And granted, we're on my family's property and doing this, but inside of an emergency situation, if if somebody is chasing you for whatever reason, or you're trying to stay hid for whatever reason, hopefully you're not a looter watching this, but fires are awesome, and I recommend everybody always keeping at bare minimum a big lighter in your pocket, even if you don't have wound with 550 cord or duct tape. A flame is a flame, and Bix, if you're wearing jeans and the Bic is wet, it will light. You know what I mean? They're not waterproof. I guess they're all waterproof, because as long as that you can dry that striker out, the little wheel on your Bic, as long as you can get that dried out to produce a spark, you're awesome. Good to go. That's a reason. That's another reason I don't recommend the torch lighter that I used here, because it's got that little mechanical start in it, and if that thing gets wet, you're hit. You know what I mean? Like, it's never gonna light again, pretty much. So when it comes to fires, like, the more analog you are, the better off you'll be. And Bic is pretty much a guaranteed flame. It ain't gonna strike underwater or nothing, but if it gets wet, it's not gonna be the end of the story. Yeah. What do you think, folks? Good, bad, ugly, indifferent? I think we did pretty good. Considering all we had was a few pieces of paper. And it is wet. So yeah, if I touch the camera, I'm gonna jack it all up. I don't want to do that. So now we've accomplished step 1, and we're in the process of accomplishing step 2. Step 3, because that's just the way I'm doing it, I guess. Step 3 is going to be shelter. And I did did find a blue tarp. I think it's like a 8x10 tarp or whatever, wound up in some in a tree by the river on my walk back home. And well, instead of getting wet going out and getting that, I decided that, I mean, I've got a 5x6, I think, blue tarp, so I'm going to use that and show y'all how to set up a shelter. It's either these ashes, or it's snowing, folks. By George, I think it's snowing. They like them apples. Check your little bottle here. Be a little closer. Like I said, don't worry. The bottle is not going to melt, and it's not going to puncture it or anything. It's not going to get water everywhere. It may deform. Well, it will deform where there isn't water. Now at the top around here, see how it's starting to deform already? But it will not. It won't put your fire out. It will not breach the integrity of the bottle where you'll have water everywhere. That being said, it is our responsibility to make sure it doesn't tip over and spill and put the fire out, or we don't are inattentive and let the fire go out. Even inside of an emergency situation, like, we don't want to start a forest fire. And I promise you, even though the ground is damp, if you can get that hot enough, it'll catch everything else on fire. Because the way that works is, the bigger your fire gets, the warmer the ambient temperature around it is, and it starts to dry out everything around the fire on the ground. And yeah, and that's how it starts. This fire get big. I can get this fire big enough where it dry all this ground out in front of it and beside it, behind it. And spark go over and get into over the hill and get into the leaves. And if that spark is hot enough, so it's part of the coal from a damp piece of wood dried out. Pop. And that's all it takes, folks. So we gotta be mindful. Plus, we don't want a ton of smoke either. Seems like that's all it is, but it has rained and everything is damp. So even if you think the wood is dry, you're still gonna have some smoke. Oh yeah, we got some good coals down there now, folks. Real good. It ain't good enough to work. It'd be a torrential downpour and we'd still have fire, but it's pretty good. I know some of y'all out there saying, quit putting stuff on it, let it burn. I understand that, but it is small, the stuff I am putting on there, and it is starting to burn up quickly, so. And we don't want it to go out. So there's that. We gotta have it. I'll get this water boiling there. it's snowing by George. Well, it's only what, 34.6 degrees. Is that cold enough for snow? Oh, excuse me, folks. Remember the ends of the branches first. The ends. Yeah, I'm not so sure about those. I mean, they break pretty good, I guess. So I'm going to do it this way. Just make a big, break them in all on themselves. Just lay it on there. Groovy. Alright folks, it is starting to snow. It is colder than hell out here. But there you go. Always carry a big lighter. I mean, I've always carried a Zippo myself. And I've recently quit smoking, so yeah, buddy. Golden. Remember, you know, if you've got a Bic in your pocket, it shouldn't take more than 2 paper towels, napkins, 2 sheets of paper, and 1 try. If you do it right, you know, you start super small. Remember? Super, super small. Super small, like this size. First we start with this size, alright? On the outside, we use this to build our little frame with, over top of our piece of paper. 1 piece of paper flat, 1 crumpled up in the middle. You're going to take twigs this size, build up a little teepee beside it or around it, and then cover it with this size, and then go from this to this and just work your way up. But don't drown it out and work your way up. Because it takes a lot of energy, especially when it's damp. You know, it takes a lot of energy for this to burn. Like you wouldn't sit there with the Bic and hold it, right? But rewind and watch it again. So this is an accompaniment to the, you know, my bug out video. We've made it to a location. We've got to stay overnight. We've got a notepad, a zebra pen, a lighter, a phone, and our wallet. I'm walking here, getting to this location, or finding a spot to camp out for the night so we can continue on our journey the following morning. During the journey, I found a bottle of water and was beside the river, so I used the empty bottle to fill up with river water. Also, while I was doing that, found that tarp and decided to substitute that with one of my actual tarps, which is a lot smaller than the one that was in the river. But anyway, you get the point. So We found some spot. We need to sterilize our water, so that's what we're doing. Remember, we only got one chance to make the fire, to build the fire, so we can be able to stay warm and sterilize our water. Maybe we got a can of food or something we found. We need to heat that up, whatever. And you got one sheet of paper, another crumpled up. Take some medium-sized twigs and build you a little cabin teepee thing around it. And then the roof and tops of it should be super small, tiny twigs. This size, a little bigger, but the more the merrier. And then from this, you work your way up to this. But you let the flame and the fire tell you when to move up. See, the water's already come to the top here, and it's hot. So we're accomplishing our mission of sterilizing the water. I'll make another video and go into what I actually carry in my pockets every day. And every time I leave the house, I'll do a pocket dump with just common everyday leaving the house stuff I keep in my pocket, and I'll do my E&E kit pocket dump for when I'm working. I guess for my Patreon folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. And for real, I don't have any videos you can pay for on Patreon as of yet. But go check it out. I mean, I'm gonna be giving away tons of cool stuff. Yeah, see our water moving down there? We're gonna be good to go in just a few more minutes. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Son of Virginia. Out.